Is Matt Doherty a must-own player? I'm gonna start with you, Gash. What do you think?
For me, it's not a question of how good Matt Doherty is. It's a question of, as always with FPL, alternatives to Matt Doherty. And I think there are a lot of cheaper alternatives that may not score as many points as he will, but will, make up a good chunk of them and are worth saving the extra money on. I don't think he's must own. I think he's definitely maybe he's a top 3 premium defender. It's probably him, Trent, and Robbo as the 3 that people have the most, with maybe Virgil van Dijk, fighting him for that 3rd spot just because he's in the really solid Liverpool defense as well. I personally am not. I relied on him for chunks last season, and rightly so. He's in a really good Wolves defense. Whenever Bali is playing, you can see their numbers go much lower in terms of expected goals conceded and stuff. But I wouldn't call him a must-own. But if I am picking another premium defender, I'd rather have him than a second Liverpool defender, just to diversify it a little bit. And he's the first name on there. So.
Yeah. Taz, what you thinking?
Yeah, man. I mean, he finished the season with 4 goals, 8 assists, 12 clean sheets. He was only outscored by the 3 Liverpool defenders, so he's definitely up there for a premium. And at a six and a half million?
No, six flat. Yeah,
6 flat. That's that comes into where you would consider him. Just like Jimenez, the game week 3 of 10 fixtures. That's when he probably rack up most of his clean sheets and possibly even attacking returns. That's how I consider him. But the question is, at the end of the day, is everyone's gonna have Trent. Trent's over 50% owned. Are you gonna have Trent and Doherty? That means you're gonna have to sacrifice in midfield and the forward spot. So do I see those return points? I would probably just go with 4.5 a defender myself, and then just use that money to boost up my midfield.
Yeah. C4, what do you think?
So to answer the question of, is Matt Doherty a must-own player, I think the answer is no, based on the popular template is Liverpool defender, Trent, then 2 4.5s and 2 4.0s. And I think if you had to consider someone 6.0 range, if you were dead set on it, personally, he wouldn't be my pick. I would go with Laporte, considering he's healthy to start the season. And if you look at post restart, his expected points per start was about a point higher than Doherty's. And I think in a situation where he's the only nailed on City defender, I think he's a much more attractive option at 6.0.
I think he's much more attractive, but he doesn't bring the same attacking returns that Doherty brings.
Post restart, he had a higher expected goals than Doherty, and I believe he had a higher expected assists.
You think that's something that can continue though? Because Doherty's shown us time and time again that he can get forward and make plays up front. Has Laporte shown that same consistency in attacking returns? I don't think so. I think if you're going to get somebody at the 6.0 range, it's got to be Doherty.
When he came in last year, he was hauling huge amounts, wasn't he? So just for context, post restart, per start, Laporte was averaging 0.13 expected goals. Doherty was 0.5. And then if you're looking at expected points per game, Doherty was at 4.71, whereas Laporte was at 6.21. Only situation where Doherty outscores Laporte is expected assists at 0.11 compared to 0.03. I think that just comes down to one of them getting a wing back and not a center back.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing about Laporte, I was considering him as well, but I am thinking about bringing him in after the first 8 or 9 game weeks. City have one of the toughest schedules in the league for the first, I forget what it's but it's 8, 9, or 10 game weeks or something like that. And then their schedule lightens up a lot, whereas Wolves have a much easier time at the start of the season. Plus, I'm not joking when I say that, when you watch these Wolves games, Doherty is, sometimes just hanging up there as a striker. So he actually, his 4 goals, I just took a quick look, were actually just he actually underperformed his expected goals this past season. He was expected to have 6 or 7, so he's getting plenty of chances. And I have to say that the fixtures are making me lean towards Doherty right now.